probably.
I saw a tweet today that said a certain star player on our defensive side of the ball is going to look to potentially get surgery on his ankle/foot. Brian Branch potentially has I don't know if it's major or what the context of that is. I did see a report today that Brian Branch is going to a doctor to see if he needs surgery. And I don't know if that's true. I saw it might have been Dave Burkett that put it out. So Dave's always like, I think he's the best in the game. So I would have to think it's true. I don't know how did Justin or someone give you a context on this injury or what's happening?
Yeah, they said he's getting an MRI, and they said he was walking around. I think the word that Will used was gingerly during practice, and at the end in the locker room he was kind of limping. So they didn't like that. So I'm going to be honest. I don't know. We don't have enough. I don't have the information to say whether he's playing or not. But if you're getting an MRI on your foot or ankle, it's probably not the best here. So you see
okay.
Look at all these guys that didn't practice. I mean,
I don't know if there was any optimism when you talked to Colton and them over there with the Lions Collective. My thought process is this. You want to know where my brain goes to be honest with you?
Where?
With Brian, my brain just goes to, hey, there is some type of pain in his, foot or ankle. There's some type of pain. They just want to make sure it's something that he can play through and it's nothing. Because obviously he's limited practice. He played last week. He's at practice. He's obviously limping. It could just literally just be a precautionary. Let's just make sure there's nothing that can happen long term. And if there's nothing long term, then he can play through the injury. Now, if there's something more long term, okay, sit a week, let it heal, or 2 weeks, as long as you need to let it heal and then move on. And then, I don't know if it's something that would have to be with surgery or anything, but maybe it's just like a precautionary. Hey, you have some type of pain. Let's just make sure there's nothing wrong in there. Because I feel like that happens all the time with knees and different bones.
Yeah, and I don't know the exact injury because I don't think it. This is just me spitballing. I don't think it's like a season-ending injury or anything. I don't think so. But we have to wait and see with the MRI. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. And then you already have. So this is like what the secondary is dealing with. So you have Terran Arnold, who hasn't practiced all week due to the shoulder. You have Kirby Joseph that hasn't practiced all week due to the knee. You have Brian Branch that limited practice due to his ankle. You have DJ Reed on IR due to a hamstring. And you have Maddox, who popped up on the injury report, hamstring, who had limited practice. So hence why they brought in Arthur Millette, who's the nickel corner on the practice squad. Like, they probably saw all this before we did. They have, how many injuries is that? Terran Arnold, DJ Reed, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph, Maddox. You have 5 guys dealing with injuries.
That's essentially like everyone.
Like every start. No,
the only one that's outside of a Meek.
Yeah, pretty much every starter is dealing with something. Now Kirby could play, Brian could play, but they're still dealing with something in a big game. And then you have Taylor Decker, who's dealing with that shoulder as well.
Yep.
So, which he's kind of a maybe to play. I've interrupted the video to tell you about the sponsor of today's episode. That is Sleeper Fantasy, a proud sponsor of Crunch Time Sports. It's a fantasy sports plus real money gaming app focused on bringing people together through sports. It's become the fastest organically growing fantasy platform. It has. And they also have Sleeper Picks, which you should be using. It's a real money product that connects friends over picks. It's very simple. You can see on the screen now my picks for Lions Chiefs. You choose more or less than predicted stats. On Sleeper, you can get up to 1,000x payouts. They're offering something for their users right now. Also, free $20, no deposit required. Plus, first-time users still also receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. Just use the code CT Sports and get involved today. Now, let's get back to the video. But yeah, it is. I mean, it seems like last year was the D-line, and then there was other injuries, but it was the D-line that suffered the most. It seems like it's the secondary's turn. They're just battling through some injuries.
I can't believe it's happening the way it is, and like you said, you kind of just hope that just some of these are just minor. Because if it turns in, like, at least like the T8 thing, I feel like the secondary, as much as injuries as we've had, there has been breaks within that too. Because obviously the T8 thing, everyone thought that was, with this week alone, it was back and forth. You have Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero being like, hey, that's a season-ending injury. And then a couple hours later, you have Shefty. And then you have Dan the next day coming out and being like, we still don't know. But hopefully, they didn't put them on IR when they made roster moves this week. So that's positive news. The only negative one is probably The most negative one was the DJ Reed one, but luckily, again, catch a little break, not a long or a full season one. So hopefully you get another break here with the Brian Branch one, and there's nothing really big to it. Hopefully.
Yeah, we know for certain. I know Giovanni Manu's on that injury report. He probably ain't going to play. I mean, there's no way. Even if he was playing or healthy, he wouldn't be playing. That's why they brought up probably Dan Skipper to play in this game.
Yeah.
If Taylor can't go, which, to be honest, I don't know if this is like, I know we talked about this with Kirby, and I don't know where you're at with like Taylor potentially playing. Like, I think this is it's an important game. Obviously, it's prime time. I get it. It's it's the Chiefs. I want Taylor Decker to be healthy December, January, and potentially February. I'm not as worried. Like, if he needs to rest again and miss this game, like, by all means, please do it. Yeah. I think the worst thing the Lions could do, not that it would be their fault. If he plays, he's good enough to play. But the worst case scenario would be he plays and then he sees an ending and he's out.
Yeah, that was what I said earlier this week.
That would be brutal, man.
I think you sit him for 3 or 4 weeks. You can even throw him on IR for 4 weeks and just let him you find a way to get by, because you do have the bye week coming up, and it's 2 games, the bye week, and then it's the Vikings game. I think you can get through with what you have through those 4 weeks. I know it's 2 big matchups and then the Vikings, but I just think it's like, even if it's not the Vikings game, you don't throw them on the IR and you just leave them out until after the bye. I think I'm fine with that. Because like I said earlier this week, if you get to the end of the season with no Taylor Decker in the playoffs because of an injury that you just didn't let him rest, you're not winning a Super Bowl. Like, you need him as your tackle. As much as people went at him last year, that's a valuable piece right now to your offense, is having both of your tackles healthy, especially when it comes January, February.
Now, I think the fair question to kind of ask here is looking at this Chiefs team, which, by the way, like, this Chiefs team, I know Patrick Mahomes is kind of slowly returning back to what he was when in terms of pushing the ball downfield, because you look at the receivers they have. Xavier Worthy just popped up on the injury report today, by the way. So they're not all healthy. I know they tweeted out yesterday, Xavier Worthy's on that injury report today. So we'll see. What was it? Do you know? I don't know. It might be, he looked like he hurt his ankle again in the Jags game, but he
was on the ground.
So I don't know if it's maybe his ankle, but the thing with this wide receiver room for the Chiefs is they have so much speed. It's not even funny. They have Xavier Worthy, who ran a 4.22, Hollywood Brown, who ran like a 4.3, and then they have Tyquan Thornton, who ran like a 4.3. So they have 3 guys that are 4.2, 4.3 speed. 3 guys that are like 2 if Xavier doesn't play. They got speed on the outside. And then so Mahomes this year has returned back to kind of old Mahomes, where he's pushing the ball. Like he's like up there.
He's going downfield, especially to Thornton.
Pushing the ball. So not only are you potentially you're without both your starting corners, but you better have Kirby and Brian got to play. They have to play in this matchup. Like this matchup's today.
I'm so interested in this MRI situation with Brian Branch.
It's going to be big. Hey, what's going on there? It's Jeff Iafrate. Appreciate you for finishing the video. You can check out one of the videos here suggested, or show support by commenting, liking, and subscribing. And buy your merchandise, officialctsports.com.